feed. It loves my past. It's always taunting, but somehow out of grasp. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm lost, and I may never come back again. And while my heart keeps holding on, I know I'll never be the same again. It talks to me, it holds my hand, it showers me with things I can't understand. It has no reason, it knows no time, it's constantly watching, so it's not left behind. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm lost, and I may never come back again. And while my heart keeps holding on, I know I'll never be the same again. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm lost, and I may never come back again. And while my heart keeps holding on, I know I'll never be the same again. You 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 know I'll never be the same again. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm lost, and I may never come back again. And while my heart keeps holding on, I know I'll never be the same again. 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 I know I'll never be the same again.
What up, everyone? DJ Nubis here with you on the Meltdown Radio podcast with another episode of Global Unscripted, where occasionally either I, Nick, or some featured guests will go and talk about politics, world issues, social issues, internet drama, whatever. I had not planned on doing another episode of this so soon after the last one because I don't usually do a lot of these most of the time, but I kind of felt like this story needed to be talked about a little bit because I just noticed a trend with a particular YouTuber who really, when we talk about what's been going on with the gaming world and like disingenuous game journalists and like the battle between gamers and the developers and studios and stuff like that. I've noticed that one particular person, David Jaffe, who worked on games like Twisted Metal, God of War, both great games, really fun games. Don't know if he's working on anything new, but he's taken it upon himself the last 2 or 3 years. I think he might have been around longer than that. I just didn't know about it, but he does YouTube content and he does a lot of game stuff, but he does talk about issues as well. But it's been more prevalent within the last few months than it was ever before that I can remember. He's taken it upon himself to insert himself into the internet drama now. He has a big enough following, much bigger than mine, but it's not like he's like the world stage. However, that's sort of what I'm getting at here is that because he's become more involved with like the discussions that are going on, even interviewing someone like Alyssa Mercante more recently than because she's been at the center of a lot of the shit between gamers and journalists as well. But he's taken it upon himself to go and insert himself into a lot of the drama out there. And a lot of it is now like, it seems that he's really trying to grift it all. He's like trying to jump on the bandwagon. Now, first and foremost, you could probably find any YouTuber, content creator, or whatever they're trying to grift. Even Alyssa Mercante now, who is starting to do her own YouTube, that she's grifting in a sense, right? She's trying to either speak her own words or whatever, her own mind about what she's doing. She's got in the middle of a lawsuit with Smash JT. For those that don't know, they've been going back and forth. That's a battle that's going to be very interesting to watch by the time it ends. But Jaffe himself, like, he's been trying hard to be a part of this, like, very desperate. Now, he claims that his son is trans, which I don't know. I don't know anything about his personal life, which isn't really my business anyway, or anybody else's, really, when you speak about it. Like, I'm surprised that he puts it out there in the open, which would almost make his son a target for people that don't like Jaffe on a personal level. Like, you've now kind of like put your own kid on the target board for people that really do hate trans people. But my issues with Jaffe are this. He oftentimes will omit evidence to the contrary. So whenever he's going on a rant or trying to act like he knows what he's talking about, he leaves out evidence to the contrary. So, like with the Alyssa Mercante, he did an interview with her, and he is immediately, I had to be blunt, sucking her dick about everything without actually understanding how supposedly Gamergate 2 started. Like, it's all about what she says is called like the Bible, basically, what he's been trying to like put out there. And that's not the case at all. Like, that tells me that he doesn't do his research. He doesn't know how the whole thing started. He's just jumping on her bandwagon to try to smoothie on up to her. To each his own, right? I don't care. I just don't like disingenuous people. So then we have this new video out that he's trying to attack Asmon about, saying that Asmon should be a better person, should have, go about the way that he teaches. Like, basically, Asmon should be responsible for anyone in his group that follows him to be more caring about the transgender people. But the funny thing about David is he says, trans people aren't doing anything to you or me. He says this to Asmon. He's like, they're doing nothing to you. So he thinks that Asmon is punching down at them, but it's more convoluted than that. It's also more nuanced than that. And these are the things that David never really addresses. He doesn't approach things in an objective manner. He only sees it one way, narrow-minded. So my issues with him are that, yeah, you have a trans son and you have like a personal perspective with that, and that's fine. But at the same time, nobody else is obligated to give a fuck about you or your son. Nobody is obligated to. I don't have to. I don't know you. You could be a pedo for all I fucking know. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying if he was, I wouldn't know it. So to me, to sit there and say, oh, well, I have empathy for you and your son. No, I don't know you. You're not anybody to me. And it's not just you. There's quite a few people. I don't know Asmon. He could be a fucking pedo for all I know. The reality is, though, I listen to people, what they're saying. So if I follow Asmon and I'm listening to the stuff that he says, I agree with some of what he says. And in this case, as we're going to get into the video, there were some transgender people who were going to Congress, speaking their mind about what's going on with the, policies that are being placed for trans people and whatnot. But there's a huge difference, and this is where I really take issue with David and his position, is that I've met trans people in my life that are very nice. And, I've met I have gay friends. My wife has gay friends. I met a lot of them too when she was doing dance. And so, all very nice people. But they don't dress like clowns, okay? And I hate to be rude, but they don't dress like clowns. You're going to Congress to speak your mind, but you want to dress up so flamboyantly and stupid that the only thing, even if I was a Congress member, I could not help but laugh at you because you're a fucking mockery, all right? You're a mockery. You don't have to dress like a clown to go speak your mind about something. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. This is the same thing I've said about gay parades. You want to go out there and show that you're gay, great. But you don't need to be fucking naked to do it. Being naked does not mean you're gay. That's the dumbest fucking thing ever. I just saw some feminists the other day. I don't know if it was Russia or whatever. They were all topless. I'm like, what does that have to do with your cause? It has nothing to do with it. You don't have to be topless to get your point across. It's a fucking dumb thing. It's so fucking stupid. So dressing up like a clown or as flamboyantly as you do, I'm not going to take you seriously. If I was a Congress member, I would not take you seriously because you're not taking me seriously as a policymaker. So the minute you come into my courthouse and you're doing this, I'm not going to take you seriously because you're not taking it seriously. You want to have these discussions? Let's have them, but do it like a normal fucking adult. Being trans does not mean you have to be as flamboyant as possible. That's just an expression of how you want to look. But there's a time and place for all of that. So when Asmon is criticizing what's going on in this courtroom, not even mentioning how rude they're being, okay? David Jaffe supports them being rude and disrespectful. But if we do it, all of a sudden we're the enemies, right? We can't be rude about this. But Asmon's pointing out that they look like clowns, and he's right. They look like fucking clowns. You can't take that seriously. I never would. Anyway, let's get into the video. Asmon made some comments, and David Jaffe took exception to this. Now, towards the end, we're going to prove that David Jaffe is a fucking idiot because of many differences. Like I told you, David speaks from the cuff. He's entitled to do it. But you make yourself look like a fool when you don't do the research and you don't even wait for more evidence to come out to the contrary. So we're going to get into that after the video.
LGBT community. I invite you, Asmongold, to read up. The guy's name was Sam Nordquist. He was 24 years old. He's dead now. He was tortured.
Now, real quickly, David's harping on this one trans person that was killed recently and tortured for a month. Now, that's unfortunate. But here's the thing. Last year alone, there was 25,000 homicides, and I can guarantee you most of them were not trans people. So what I take issue with David here by using this emotional manipulation on Asmon is that you want to point to one person being tortured and killed who's in the trans community, but you don't ever speak on the other people that are killed on a daily basis. So it tells me David Jaffe has one agenda and one agenda only. David Jaffe doesn't care about people. He just cares about this people. And so I can't take you seriously as someone who's a supposed activist because that's the way he's acting. He's acting like everybody should be caring and looking out for the LBG community. No, it's not our responsibility to do that. It isn't. In America, we are all free to choose and vote for people that represent us and what we want best out of American life. If whatever a trans person wants goes against what I want and what would benefit me as a human being in America, I'm going to vote for my best interest. Now, David, as a free American, can vote for anybody he wants or vote for any cause he wants. If David wants to give up his privilege to go and vote for people in the trans community that would help them, that's so be it. Then do it. That's fine. But no one is obligated to follow that step. If I want to vote for things that I feel like are better, going to be beneficial for me to succeed in American life, I'm going to do that. I'm not obligated to fucking do what you want me to do.
He was murdered, never did anything wrong. Except.
So you're telling me that there's a person who was gay that got killed? That's crazy. I would have never believed that. Wow. I guess every gay person is right about everything now. Great argument.
Have the fucking confidence, the fucking bones to fucking be who he is.
Yep.
But, I guess that's not good enough for.
And I'm sure some woman that walks down the street just minding her own business, wearing a nice little dress and gets raped. I suppose she's just being who she is too. Like, where's your outrage, David, with women that are constantly attacked far more than transgender people? Where's your anger there? Why aren't you going to bat? Why aren't you making videos about that, brother? Instead, you want to yell at Asmon, who doesn't think it's a good thing that this trans person was killed. Like, you're just assuming something without any fucking proof.
For you,
Who is this guy?
Asmongold. He doesn't pass the cool check. That's unfortunate for him because he's dead.
What do you think? I'm like spamming a W because some random guy got killed because he's gay? Why would I do that? That's insane.
Yep.
What? Who is this?
Nice shirt, by the way, Asmon.
Now, I wonder if someone like Asmongold, seriously, I wonder if he is aware of his influence, and I wonder if he's.
I am. That's why I do what I do.
sad or depressed or.
See, that's the thing too. Like, so two things here, because people who may not be familiar with Asmongold, right? Asmon speaks his mind, which he's entitled to, which I don't all agree with Asmon every single time. However, I will always support his right to do that. And also, he's not sad or depressed. The dude's a millionaire. There's nothing for him to be depressed about, except for the fact that he did deal with his loss of his mom some time ago. That still kind of affected him. I think we kind of understand that. But David Jaffe won't show any empathy about that because David Jaffe won't do any research to understand who Asmongold is. David will jump immediately to something on somebody without even asking why. But the other thing is, Asmon, you know, he said it before. He has a platform where if he feels like people like David Jaffe or Alyssa Marcante or studios are attacking gamers and trying to ruin a particular entertainment that he enjoys, he's come out and said he will push back on that with his platform 100%. And he should. That to me is responsibility. You don't let someone just push you around because they want to push an agenda. Fuck David Jaffe. No. You are not going to take over the gaming industry with your bullshit. The gamers have spoke their mind. They're not letting that happen. And Asmon just has to be at the tip of that spear. We're not putting up with that shit, dude. Get real.
Is that this isn't
not terribly bright? You know, this is 3 hours ago. There's
Yes.
over a quarter of a million
Asmon is
people
10 times
who watch
smarter
this.
than
Yeah,
Jaffe.
hey man, I support his right to think whatever he wants. He has a right to dislike people. He has a right to express it as long as it doesn't incite violence. But I would say that I'm more bothered by the fact that his audience is just so goddamn big.
Jealousy. And this comes back to what I was talking about. I've seen Jaffe insert himself in other drama with other YouTubers, and it's always about. He always comes back to, I don't understand how these people have all these people following him. Like, there's a reason for that because you're an idiot. You don't. Whatever you're trying to convey, nobody believes in except for the small group of people that you have on your channel. That's really it. Just like for my channel, like I'm not really a political streamer. I talk about entertainment, movies, music, whatever. But if I can't separate myself from the bigger ones that are out there, then I'm always going to be a small channel, which is fine because this to me is for fun. If I can make money at it, great. But if I can't, that's great too because I don't mind. This is for my enjoyment. But for Jaffe, he's actually has money. He actually admits in this video he has money. So for him, it's more of an ego thing. And that's how I perceive it because it's the only thing that makes sense. He's just so fucking like hell-bent on being a big streamer like Asmongold that he gets really jealous that people don't buy into his bullshit. If you go and look at some of the videos that David Jaffe has, look at the comment sections, dude. The comment sections are even against him. They tell him he's a fucking idiot. Now, here's the thing that is even funnier. Because those people take the time to view his videos, they talk on his comment section, he still gets paid. So Jaffe's kind of laughing as he's trolling everybody, if it's a troll job, because he still gets paid. But he's still so fucking much of a moron that his ego can't let it go that he doesn't have a bigger following that people agree to it. He just can't handle it.
As I said, guys, it's just everybody is really lucky that I'm the most humble and modest streamer. I mean, this amount of ego glazing, like this, it's been going crazy. It really is. It's been going absolutely wild. Wow. Wow. Luckily, this doesn't affect me. Of course, I would never let this affect my ego. That'd be silly.
He's trolling.
I don't understand.
You know what the worst?
I mean, I understand how perhaps you can like the guy's gaming content or World of Warcraft content or even his anti-woke content or whatever. But, I mean, we're coming off the weekend of learning about this story. This was in Atlanta. This was a story, as the New York Times, but it's all over. A person killed in New York was tortured for more than a month. It was a train.
I wonder what David thinks my opinion about this is.
David doesn't think. That's why. Like, he never takes the time to go and ask. Like, it's like, oh, well, I'm just going to assume Aswan endorses this. And, you know, David Jaffe, he's a fucking idiot, dude. It's just, I can't get over how fucking dumb this dude is. And it's so weird because he, like I said, he created two of the greatest games that have ever been made. And yet he's just fucking stupid when it comes to this stuff. He's trying so effing hard to grift into this sphere of the YouTube content world that he doesn't really think. Everything he accuses Asman of, he doesn't do himself.
I wonder, like, because I'm really curious. Like, what does he think that I believe about this? It's emotional manipulation. No, it is. It's emotional manipulation. What he's doing is he's using a person, and this is disgusting. The person who killed this person should go to jail for life. Everybody agrees with that. In a good chance, probably torture for more than it's disgusting. Everybody agrees with this.
Trans man, the cops are saying that
Yes.
This is pretty much the repeated acts of violence and torture between December and this month. In my 20-year of law enforcement career, this is one of the most horrific crimes I've ever investigated.
It's terrible.
The facts and circumstances of the crime are beyond
Horrible.
depraved. One of the people who did the torturing and murder was a sex offender who lived in this hotel. And while there is
Sex offender. Okay. Let's evaluate this. So, a transgender person was attacked, tortured, and killed. It wasn't some like right-wing dude that did it, right? Now, I'm going to clarify who it actually ended up being at the end of the video, because there's been more news reports about this since this video came out, which is why I always say, when you don't have evidence to the contrary and you're making shit up, even if it's your own theory, it means you're putting out misinformation. It means you're fucking doing a disservice to anyone that's watching you or listening to what you have to say. It's always important to have or give caveats. David never does this. He always assumes something without saying, well, I don't really have all the information, but this is kind of like what I think. But that's not what he's doing. He said, well, let's just say it's a hate crime. And, you know, he doesn't really wait for anything. In this case, they just admitted that the person that attacked him, it actually turned out to be 5 people that attacked him. He said that one of them was a sexual predator. Well, this person could be attacking anybody. They're a criminal already. They're already on the list. So this isn't even like, you know, this isn't like some Trumper. I mean, it could be a Trumper, but the reality is it probably isn't. It's just some criminal, right? Who probably doesn't even give a shit who the president is.
no definitive proof this was or was not a hate crime. They asked the police captain, said such determination has not been ruled out, nor...
So wait a minute, you don't even know if it was a hate crime at all, and you're automatically... So not only... So let me get this straight. So not only do... is the implication that I'm complicit in or okay with having a person being killed because they're gay, but on top of that, it's not even confirmed that that's the reason why. The police aren't even saying that. Now, you're drawing this conclusion, and I think that there's a good chance that he could be right. But we don't even know this.
Yeah.
So this is like level 2 dishonesty. It's second order lying.
Yep.
Has the possibility of more arrests, so they don't know yet. But I mean,
excuse me.
Let's just, for the sake of this conversation, assume that this very much probably was some sort of a hate crime.
All right. So again, why would we assume something that we don't have any proof for? If anything, you should assume that it's not, right? But this is not how David thinks. Oops, sorry about that.
Because this
I
is
would assume that it was too, but I mean the police don't, and I think that him framing it this way leads people to I wouldn't accuse and attack somebody off of that assumption. That's a bit much.
Culture that people like Asmongold, in my opinion, I don't think
Please say that I promote killing transgender people. Please say it. I want to hear it, David.
it's intentional. I don't think he's asking or advocating for violence against people. I'm not
Okay.
saying he caused this at all. I
Okay,
think
good.
people should
Thank
be
you.
responsible
Thank
for
you,
their own
David.
actions. And this guy, I do defend his right to say whatever he wants. But I just the amount of hate that is out there, and the amount of cruelty towards the LGBT community, and how that.
See, here's the other problem I have with David here. You're saying all these things are happening, hate and cruelty. Do you have data that will back that up? Because I don't want just scared or made up data to try to show that there's all this hate against the LGBTQ community. So give me the data. Like, of all the Americans, you're telling me a majority of America is cruel and treating these people badly. Like, show me where that's happening, please. Don't just spew it out of your ass. I want to actually see the data behind it. And I don't want to see some fucking biased like news source that try to make up fucking stats that don't have any real backbone to them. Find a legitimate source that will show me that this is happening from a lot of Americans on the LGBTQ community. Show me. Where's the data? Show me the data. Show me the facts.
All you have to do is look at the news and listen to these people. And
The news, especially mainstream, dude, are they want you to believe certain things. They want us to keep us divided. So they'll tell you whatever the fuck you want to hear, David. You're a fucking moron. You are a fucking moron. If you believe everything the news is telling you, you're a fucking moron. This is the reason why, again, you dipshits are losing. Okay? I didn't even vote this time around. But it makes me happy that Trump won because it showed me Americans aren't falling for your bullshit anymore. Americans have said, we've had enough with your identity politics. We've had enough with your division. We've had enough with your divisiveness. We don't like that you're trying to push an agenda. We don't like that you're trying to like force feed us your bullshit, your way of life. What you're trying to endorse, man, is beyond like a free thinking American. You want people to think like you do. We don't want to think like you do. Americans have their own priorities. They have their own things to worry about. They don't have to worry about you or your boy. Don't have to worry about these clowns in the Congress. We don't have to worry about them. They're not our problem. So any hate that you say has happened isn't hate. It's indifference. Huge difference. It's indifferent. I don't give a fuck. If they don't get their way with policy, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't affect me. I don't have to be empathetic, and I won't be. I am empathetic to my family and the people close to me. I could give a rat's ass about you or your son or anyone else outside the sphere. I don't care about asthma in his life. Don't care. He's not my problem, and you're not my problem.
stop treating them like jokes and actually just be fucking human for a minute.
Well, if you want to be treated like a human, jackass, then fucking quit having to dress up in clowns. You want to be taken seriously? Then come at me seriously. Don't be dressing like a fucking clown. I've said it before. There are plenty of gay people and plenty of trans people that dress normally. They do their normal things, act like normal human beings. They don't fucking dress like clowns going into work and working a job. They do just like everyone else. I take those people seriously. I don't take idiots like this seriously.
And you realize just...
If you want people to not treat you like a joke, then don't act like one.
Thank you.
If you act psychotic and if you act hysterical, you're rude, you're loud, people are going to think that you're an asshole.
Yep.
That's it. It's literally that simple. If you behave like a joke, people are going to start laughing.
Yep.
There's no reason that this person needs to behave and act and speak the way that they did. And if you look at the actual LGBT activists that in the past actually made real change, and I'm talking about not just getting likes on Twitter, but actually changed the world and changed the way that people saw the world, they didn't act like this. And that's true with any sort of social movement. It's true with all of them. It's always these LARPers that probably live privileged lives that are looking for somebody to find they're desperately looking for a cross for somebody to nail them up to. They're the ones that are doing this.
How much shit these people are dealing with and suffering through. And to be someone sitting up there with all of this guy's money, all of this guy's influence, me, Asmongold, and just go, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to make money off the misery of this community. Now, do I think this lady up here, whoever's speaking, is a bit of a goofy person?
Say it.
Yeah. I mean, she's
You're
going...
nuts. They're nuts. They're fucking nuts. Like, so you even agree with me? Like, you're just mad that people, like, what is even the problem?
Out of her way to be flamboyant and get attention. And
the thing that always bothers me about these causes for the trans and little lesbians and all that is that people like David think that these people are untouchable. They think that he tries to portray them all as innocent victims and everything. And really, here's the thing that gets me. Again, this comes back to the lack of research and a lack of authenticity from David, because back when Hogwarts Legacy got released a couple of years ago, I kept track of everything that was going on. Like, I didn't even have any intentions of playing the game until I saw the shit that the trans community was pulling. The trans community and people within it were threatening straight gamers for even attempting to play the game just because they wanted to play the game. They didn't care that it was like connected to JK Rowling. And this is the problem with people like David. It's like, he doesn't even understand that. He pretends that these trans people are okay to threaten, give death threats to straight people. He doesn't care about that. It only matters if it happens to them. This is what makes David such a bad person, because he doesn't understand anything outside of his own little world. He's in his own bubble. And that's the problem. If you're going to sit there and defend all the shit that trans people do to straight people in terms of threatening and acting belligerent and everything else, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I'm not feeling sorry for any trans person getting any shit, hate or whatever from them. I don't care. You know, I'm sure there's some great trans people out there that are just kind of like mind their own business. They're not even fucking doing stupid shit like this. They go about their lives, going to work and doing the things they need to do. They're not doing this stupid shit, and they're not online threatening straight people for playing a fucking game. So, David, get your shit in order, dude. Like, if you're going to start talking shit about how unfortunate it is that they're getting threats and stuff, maybe you should look at the broader picture of things and see what's really going on out there. Don't make excuses for it. We don't even know if your son is one of those people that are out there threatening people. How do we know? Right?
You know, that's what she wants and that's what she needs to get her message out. And, you know,
but it's not getting the message out. It's doing the opposite effect. That's why the video that I did was so popular. That's the whole point.
Yep. Again, this comes down to, you try to force a square peg into the round hole, is what these people are doing, and David Jaffe and all them. They're trying to force these ideals on people. And they tried this with Kamala Harris. They tried to use identity politics to force it down Americans' throat. Americans said, wait, hold up. Like, I don't like Trump, but you're trying to force this shit on me that I don't want forced on me. I have other concerns that you're not even addressing. And so when your biggest concern is about trans community or the gay and lesbian community and not about putting food on the table, well, eventually people are going to turn on you. That's what cracks me up. Sonny Hostin, after the election, said, oh, with all the Hispanics that voted for Trump, they just must be misogynistic. Now, that's funny because, again, she's another one that doesn't do any research. Because the reality is those same Hispanics unanimously voted more for Hillary back in 2016. And more than likely, those are the same people that voted for Obama not once, but twice. So how is it they can go from being racist and sexist now and not be that way before? It just happened overnight? Just aliens came and changed their brains out? I mean, no. They see what's going on. They see that the left would rather just open the borders and allow people to stampede in without any kind of checks and balances, without like actually going through the process of becoming a citizen of America like they did. And these Hispanics are like, fuck off. I had to do it the right way. You don't let them come in and just get a free pass. Fuck off. This is the Hispanics telling you this, not white Americans. This is the Hispanics telling you this. This is Black America telling you, oh, you're not going to use my color as a shield for some bullshit. No. Everybody is trying to do what's best for them in America to get a great life, including the trans people, but they are the minority. That's just how it is. And you're trying to force something on us that we don't want. Americans don't want that as a collective. The most of them don't want it. So you can sit there and pander to all that bullshit you want, but if you're going to continue to double down on this shit, you're going to lose in 2028. Just watch what happens. Keep trying. You guys think we're fucking joking when I tell you keep doubling down. It's going to ruin you. You're just not smart. People like David Jaffe just cannot get out of their own way. They can't. I feel so fucking bad. They're just so dumb. You don't even see the forest from the trees. It's like you can't see the bigger picture. You're so worried about this, and you're not seeing the bigger picture. So it's eventually going to just bite you right back in the ass. So once Trump is gone, conservatives are probably going to win again because you can't stop using identity politics to try to drive a wedge between Americans. It's not going to work.
That I'm making. It's that
if anything,
doing
it's
this
going to
and
make
the
it worse for
message that they're
them.
giving people is that this.
They think that all the flamboyancy and all the yelling and screaming at Congress, they think that's going to get their way. It's not. They might be frustrated, but the reality is you come at me like a lunatic, I'm just going to dislike you more. It's not going to help your cause at all. And I don't know what to tell David because like you just can't see it. You're too blinded by your own stupidity.
Group of people is hysterical, obnoxious, psychotic, and rude. It's not benefiting anybody. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help their cause. It doesn't help people that are against them. It's just toxic to everything. That's the whole point of the conversation, is that you need to get these toxic, privileged narcissists out of social causes, go back to your fucking gated communities, and solve the problems in your own fucking life, rather than dragging around the cross looking for a cause that'll nail you up to it. It's fucking obnoxious. It's annoying, and everybody can see it. It's exhausting.
Opens yourself up to that. But that said, though, you know, Asmongold, read the fucking room, man. You can have your opinion. People can support.
I'm supposed to read the
room. So again, and I know Asmon will probably touch on this. Well, let's read the room, David. This past election, Trump won unanimously in the popular vote. He won the electoral vote, and it wasn't close. What does that tell you about the room? Really, David, what does it tell you about the room? Now you're trying to come at Asmon with his millions of followers and say, read the room, Asmon, but most of Asmon's followers agree with him. What does that tell you? Who's not reading the room?
When everybody you just said before that everybody was saying that I was right. So if I'm reading the room and you just complain that there's a lot of people in my room, it sure seems like I can read pretty well, huh?
Yeah.
Respect your opinion, but what are you doing, man? You've got 3 million people who watch your shit. These people are dying. They're not coming for you, buddy. You
There's a lot of people dying, Jaffe. That's why I just pointed out the stats from last year with the murders. It's not just trans people that are dying. I mean, what the fuck are you even talking about, dude? Like, you act like this is like some like long-standing fucking thing that's going on with trans people. No, it's not. There's plenty of people dying that are beyond the trans community, fuckface.
You can't be as successful as you have been so far, Asmongold, and not recognize that there are people on both sides of all these kinds of arguments that use these as wedge issues to piss people off and get.
You're complete.
Well, he's right, but he's one of the people that do this. He is one of the people that do this. And I'm honest when I say this, because go back and watch his interview with Alyssa Mercante. He's doing exactly what he just said other people are doing. He didn't take the time to figure out why Gamergate 2 started. He didn't want to know. He didn't want to accept it. He wanted to look at Alyssa Mercante as a victim, and he chose to do that path without doing anything. So he is part of the problem. He's part of the problem.
Completely right. That's a great point that he brings up, and I think that's absolutely true. And I said the same thing before about those protesters, those counter protesters in New Zealand. I said that I disagree with them. I think that they're ridiculous. They were anti-LGBT. I said that 2 days ago. I said it was ridiculous to do that. It's outrageous.
Constituents and folks mad that would contribute to their campaign or their PR.
Yes.
You must know that. And I don't think you have a responsibility to anyone but yourself. I'm not trying to shame you or anything. Not that my little channel could do that, but I'm not trying to make it like you are.
I mean, the video is titled Asmond Gold. You spelled my name wrong. Should know and be better.
Okay.
Should know, do,
That's an attack.
/ be better.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of shitty, but okay, that's fine. And also, by the way, David, like, I'm a grown-ass man. I can handle this. I can handle criticism. You don't need to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to get my feelings fucking hurt. I'm not a little bitch on Twitter. I get it. I'm fine. I'm good.
Because you have a big following, you have to be a, quote, good guy in my eyes. But could you at least think before you hit publish or post or whatever the fuck you do?
Hello, Council.
This is him reacting.
I don't know, maybe his audience is like 12-year-old boys. Maybe they really buy this and think it's funny. And again, you can hate this lady.
They're not.
See, it's not about hating the lady, if it's a lady. Like, I don't even know these days, because we have the non-binary bullshit and all everything else. So there's no hate. Jaffe thinks that because you disagree with something, that all makes you hate something. I could give a rat's ass about this person. I don't have to like him. I don't have to hate him. That's not the point here. Unless this person's like a predator and touches little kids, then I won't hate them. I don't care about them. They're not my problem. So, but just because that's the case doesn't mean I can't laugh at them. She looks like a fucking joke. She looks like a clown. I can't take that seriously. She looks like a fucking clown. I can say that. I have the right to say that. It's my opinion. But it's not driven by hate. It's just because it's a fucking ridiculous look. Okay? That's all it is.
Not. I've showed my demographics before. David is part of my core audience. Oh, I've got a lot of Davids in my core audience. I was driving home from the gas station today. I walked out to the parking lot, and there was a guy that looked a little bit kind of like David, about the same age. Hey! Yeah, so actually, that's not really the case.
And you can hate everything she stands for, but for the love of God, could you at least acknowledge that this guy's full of shit? Do you really think this is a real, genuine laugh? So, it's like, I respect the audience more. And it's like, really, dude? But hey, if they buy it, they buy it, man. I love the WWE. I know it's bullshit. Maybe people know this bullshit too. I don't know. Here he goes. This will take a while, but let's enjoy.
Let's go back. We're gonna go forward. I'll go to the end.
We'll see what stands up in court. Uninformed. Do you think?
I'll skip a little bit ahead because this is a part where basically David starts bringing up stuff about taxes being cut as well as healthcare, which Asman actually agrees with. The healthcare should be more accessible, more like on the lines of what Bernie Sanders wanted. I can't say I can't argue with that, because our healthcare, despite being one of the best in the world, is pretty overpriced and very unaffordable for the most part. Like, the bills that stack up for health in America is like really, really outrageous. So we need a better idea or a better plan behind that. So I'm going to skip that part of it, because I agree with a lot of them both when they're both on that.
Absolutely great point. And I remember when Tesla was trying to break.
Okay, that's about the emissions on cars.
Now, I would also come to the assumption that it was true, but the police said that they don't know that. So that means you don't know that either, and neither do I.
But I guess that's not good enough for you, Asmongold. He doesn't pass the cool check.
That's right. That's right. That's right, because I think this person's ridiculous. I want a trans person to be tortured and killed. That. Thank you. Totally logical. Completely makes sense.
For him because he's dead now.
Great.
Is it
framework.
Asmon's fault?
Absolutely.
Let's be clear. Of course not. But could he do better? Yeah, he could, and he should.
So if I could do better and it's not my fault, then why are you bringing it up? You're bringing it up because you're linking me to it to try to create an emotional manipulation to say that my language and my criticism of this leads to that happening, which is a disgusting mischaracterization. And it's not true in any capacity, and anybody that watches my content would know that immediately.
He should fucking be ashamed of himself, is what I would say. He won't be, probably.
No,
maybe
I'm not.
He will, but he probably won't be. But if you watch him, maybe you should hold your heroes to a higher standard, because this is not it, my friends.
Well, you're not a hero, David, so I don't know. I mean, in fact, you really shouldn't hold anyone to a higher standard, because we don't need to idolize anybody. That's just a ridiculous notion of all sorts, because even some of the biggest, most supposedly great people in lifetimes have had faults, and they've had bad things happen, and we discovered they did some nefarious things. So always be careful about who you try to idolize on any level. And I would never suggest, even though I agree with Asman on a lot of things, I don't idolize him. I just like his content. That's it. I don't have to idolize him as a person. I don't know anything about him beyond that. So with David, sure, I don't know anything about him either. But because I see some of what he says that bleeds through, I can judge him based upon that, just like how I judge Asman based upon what he does. To me, these are two completely different people that approach these subject matters entirely different. One looks at it just like, oh, I don't give a fuck, but it's funny. David, it's more personal. So he acts like he's some sort of good Samaritan, or wants people to put him up on a pedestal like he's like supposedly this great guy. No, you're not. You're not great. You say you've actually degraded and said some sexist things about Vera Dark. You are a fucking deplorable human being, in my opinion, because you do that. Now, you're entitled to it. You're entitled to that. But don't ever put yourself up as some sort of good guy. You're not. You are not a good person when you try to disrespect women. You're not.
Hold yourself to a higher standard. Quit using emotional manipulation. It's not going to work. That's what it is. And you use these implications and you think that people can't see it. It's obvious what you're trying to do. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's obvious. So anyway, yeah. If anything, I'll link it. Like and here's the thing with David, is that I don't hate David. I think David's a bit of a jackass, but I can respect and like I do. That's fine. That's fine. I think that he's intentionally misrepresenting me, and I don't like that. Thinking you're smarter than everyone else in the room is hilarious and sad. Who is it? Is it me or him? I don't know. What is this? Okay, yeah, no, you're unhappy about what I said. People thought MLK was insane and a sociopath. What the fuck are you on about? What's the what's your point? People thought MLK was insane, a sociopath, and the CIA stalked him relentlessly.
Yeah, me too, Asma. Me too.
I'm just so confused. I'm so fucking confused right now. This goes way back to what you were saying. And what would that be?
can't really read them. Let's see if I
What
can.
would that be? Look at the timestamps. Oh, I'm far healthier weight than you, and I still think you're disgusting, retarded on this take. So why aren't you fat? So you're mad that I was saying that. So you're still mad about the fat thing? Is that what's going on? I'm just really confused. It's two entirely different discussions. Yeah, because like if you're mad about the fat thing, like we're just gonna like, I mean, you just say, I mean, like I think probably gonna ban you because you're really getting in, you're getting a little bit too personal. You're getting too extreme. You gotta like, are you gonna dial shit down? Are you gonna relax, or are you gonna just keep acting like this? Because if you're gonna keep acting like this, you're just gonna get banned, right? Because I don't want to deal with this level of hostility. I don't think I deserve it. Hold on. All right, I'll relax. That's fine. That's fine. Just chill out. Just chill the fuck out, man. And so, didn't even do nothing? No, I didn't. Like, look. We don't need to talk about this. Like, I don't want to get into the fat debate again because, like, we already got out of it. I don't want to get back into it, etc. Right? And so, yeah.
He has way more patience than I do, man.
Today's
I
a holiday. We'll get
on.
asylums. I don't know. They're talking about people acting insane, but it's proving your point. Yeah, 100%. Bro, pull me up. Read most of the things that I've said when it comes to trans topics. Let me, with the trans person with common sense, spit the facts. I personally don't like these people who put so much hate on you whenever it comes to these topics. It's not fair. I think that there's a lot of people who are of different identities that understand that that's not the kind of stuff that I put forward. And I've always been very outspoken. Like so this is like another like kind of meta level thing with me is that I'm very much an accelerationist and I'm very much a believer in technology and like futurism. And so I believe the future is transhumanism in a lot of capacities. And I think that people's digital identities will, to a certain degree, overtake their biological identities as we move closer towards that degree of transhumanism. So I actually think that
Okay,
the
so
like a lot of the current
some other things. So yeah, so okay. So now I'm going to get into why I talked about how David was assuming certain things about that trans person dying, right? He assumed it was a hate crime. Well, recently now it's been determined that this person knew who his assailants were. So it was 5 people. And it says a transgender Minnesota man who was found dead in a field in New York knew his assailants, New York State officials confirmed Sunday. Last week, law enforcement confirmed the body of 24-year-old Sam Nordquist was found in Benton, located southeast of Rochester, New York. In a joint release on Sunday from the Ontario District Attorney, the New York State Police authorities confirmed Nordquist and his assailants knew each other and identified as LGBTQ+. Now, that means his assailants were of the same identity. David. This is why you don't speak out your ass before you have all the facts. Okay? You don't do that. You have to be better, dude. Be better. Take your own advice, Chief. Now, here's the other thing. Let me get to this other one here, because this is also a very interesting thing. Investigators have found no evidence that the torture and killing of a transgender man whose remains were found in a field in upstate New York last week was a hate crime. Law enforcement officials said on Sunday that some or all of the 5 people charged with murder in connection with the killing were themselves members of the LGBT communities. Oh, David, how much more mud do you need on your fucking face, dude? You're a fucking moron. This is why you don't talk out your fucking ass. Please stop. All that shit you said about people dividing people, you are part of the fucking problem. Just own up to your bullshit, dude, and quit being like that. It's so ridiculous. I don't know why we have to have this. I just, I don't know what to tell you, man. This guy, it's very clear. All he's trying to do is grift. It's all he's doing. And he's a very emotionally reactionary kind of guy where he'll just jump on something without thinking. And he thinks he's doing good, but he's not. He's making everything worse for the very people that he supposedly cares about, whether it be his son or other people in that community. When you come out and you gaslight like this against Asmongold of all people, you make yourself look like a fool. And you do your own community a disservice. I don't know what to tell you, man. I thought that was important enough to talk about, though, because it just shows you the kind of disingenuous people that are out there, that they don't actually have these people's they don't really care about these people's intentions. It's like David would rather piggyback on this cause rather than actually care about it. Because if he did, he wouldn't go and gaslight people, or he wouldn't jump to conclusions that have no fact based in them. He can give his opinions all he wants, but now he should be making a video apologizing for gaslighting everybody and making the wrong assumptions about something he had no knowledge of. So there you have it. The proof is in the pudding, man. The evidence is there now. It wasn't even fucking like right-wing crazy people that did it. It was Nordquist's own fucking community that fucking did that to him. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. I don't know what to tell you. Anywho, coming up on the Metal Tavern Rain podcast this week, later tonight, we will be sitting down with the Silver Screen Savants and reviewing the 2012 movie Dread with Carl Urban. Tomorrow, I'll be doing another Kaiju Spotlight with Kevin Lambert from the Entertainment Headquarters as we spotlight Gorgo. Later in the evening, Mr. Tony and the Dead and I are doing another Ghouls of Midnight segment, and we'll be reviewing the movie Special Effects from 1984. Thursday, I'll be guesting on Sci-Fi Century's channel, and we'll be reviewing Ninja Scroll. So if you have never seen that animation, check it out, or at least check into our discussion. We have a big panel to talk about the movie. Friday, I've got a few things going on Friday. So the Retchy Movie Show I got with Kevin Lambert, Entertainment Headquarters. We have a panel where we're going to be discussing Starship Troopers. And then Neko and I will be doing a Classic Reflections. We're going to do another one of those for this kind of, we did a review on Silver Screen for The Man with the Golden Gun recently, and I used a clip of Snake River Conspiracy's song Strangled. So actually, Neko and I are going to sit down and review the entire record. I think it's something that needs to be talked about. It's a really, really great record. So I'll be reviewing that with Neko on Friday, and then Saturday, the Silver Screen Savants will be back again, and this time we'll be what are we doing that day? Jack the Giant Killer from 1962. So that's Olvin's pick for that particular segment. So got a lot going on this week. I'm going to slow it down next week a little bit. There's only about 2 or 3 things I'm probably going to do next week. Kind of keep it low key. But yeah. That's it, man. Like that's how it's going to be. And thank you all for tuning in. Give me your thoughts. What are your comments about this? How do you feel about this? If you want to disagree with me, that's fine. Just be cordial about it. Don't be totally crazy. I mean, you can be mad or whatever, but just be cordial about it. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think this guy's talking out his ass? Have you heard of David Jaffe before? Do you think Asmon's wrong? Whatever. Anyway, see you next time, the Metal Tavern Podcast, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Before you